We're on. Right.
Is this the same camera?
This is my little running camera.
A new one?
Well, it's my old one. It's my original camera. Right, so here we go. So I'm here with Gordon also. And I'll just get my camera sorted out here. There we go. And today we are at Glenrosa.
Yep.
I've just arrived. Gordon's asked me why I've got a little bit of material wrapped on my camera, and the reason why is because it stops wind noise in the camera, and Gordon reckons that's a good thing if it makes me quieter.
Yes. Less
noisy.
Yes.
Well, it's to cut out some noise, but not the noise from me. That's not going to happen.
No.
So, thanks for your Christmas card,
Sorry.
Gordon, Dave the Rave.
Sorry I didn't have a Christmas jumper.
I've got my Christmas jumper on today, yes.
I'll pretend it's under here, but I'm not taking this off because I'm cold.
Well, this is my Christmas jumper I've been wearing at work.
Right.
And it's got my Christmas camels on the front of it. Because these are the reindeers which have got like a hump on them.
Right.
So they're like a cross between a camel and a reindeer, and I feel they're...
Well, they look more like red deer to me.
Red deer? Red camels?
Are white.
Well, I bought this sweater specifically because it's an all-inclusive sweater. It includes desert Christmases as well as Arran ones.
Right.
Snowy ones.
Okay.
Not that we've got any snow. So that's what that camel represents with the antlers on it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Sort of.
Quite a good idea there. All
Yeah,
inclusive,
yeah,
not offending anybody there.
I don't see the camel, but I can see
Can you
reindeers
see
and red
it?
deers.
You see a little hump there, look there.
Yeah, yeah.
Got little humps. The reindeers have got the hump.
Yeah, they've got the hump, yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder, because there's no snow.
There's no snow, there's not been any snow here. So, right, this is Dave the Rave. What am I? Dave the Rave roving the rock.
Yep.
Dave the Rover raving in the rock. And Gordon also.
Gordon the Gopher.
Gordon the Gopher.
Going round the rock.
Going round the Gopher, going in the rock. On YouTube and ArranSound.com radio. So, first question, where are we going today, Gordon the Gopher?
Alright, well, okay, it was your choice. But
Here's
anyway,
the question here.
yeah, where are we going? We're going
up
Glenrosa to the saddle. I think it's looking pretty good. It says windy, but it doesn't seem to be windy here, does it?
It doesn't. The ferry is off all morning.
The ferry's off, but there you go. It's not very windy, but the ferry's off. But anyway, we won't go into that.
But that carry on. Sorry, we'll come back to that.
Right, we're going to that. But as weather-wise, I think it's not too much rain forecast. It's mild. It doesn't look too windy. If it is windy, I think it's going to be slightly behind us going up. Might be a bit against us coming down, and obviously it'll depend what it's like at the top of the saddle.
So you think it might be in our faces going up?
No, I think it might be slightly behind us because it's
behind us going up.
Southwesterly.
Right, southwesterly.
So we're kind of running like that,
We're running in a northerly direction.
We should be fine.
Should be mostly in
as
our
long
faces.
as it doesn't rain, I think it's going to be quite mild, and we won't need to wrap up too much.
And since we're running up to the saddle, which is what, about 1,500 feet high or something like that?
I don't know. You've not been.
I've not
researching it.
No, I haven't actually. To be honest, I've been quite lazy.
Oh,
I've been working. I've worked the last 6 days in a row, and it's like 12-hour shifts. So I've not been researching. To be honest, I've just been boating or non-boating, as the case may be.
Yep. That non-boating.
So
yep.
I'm going to guess it's about half the height of Goat Fell. I'm going to maybe just
what's go for 800? So
2,800, 400 meters. Yeah. So about half the height, roughly.
Somebody can correct you if they know. I don't know.
And the saddle is.
A map.
We go right up Glenrosa, and the saddle is in the valley kind of thing. It's like the saddle between the mountains ranges.
Top of Glenrosa, so it's the high point between Glenrosa and Glen Sannox, because it's like one big glen, isn't it? Runs from here right through to Sannox with the saddle in the middle.
Yeah. Okay, so that's where we're going today, and we're a wee bit in trepidation because we know it's a lot of climbing. I think the wind will be pretty good because it will be hidden behind the saddle. Like, it'll be blowing over it, so we'll be sheltered. So I think actually we'll be alright. I think that's why it doesn't seem too bad. Have you done much running lately?
Every day, my normal.
Oh, good. That's good.
5k a day average at the moment.
I've been just doing half an hour a day. I've been working every day on the stairs, just running up down the stairs. So I don't know how much good that does, but I think it'll probably help me with the hills. Yep. Because I tell you what, it tires me out going up and down stairs.
Coming down would be
But I do down as well, down the stairs. So
knees, you know.
well, my knees feel good, so it's working for me actually. I feel the stairs are working quite well.
Right.
Okay, you and I have done shifts on Arran in the co-op and Knockranny together, and also at Calmac for me, for the last 30 plus years each. So it's just our whole adult lives basically, it's doing shifts, isn't it? And that means that you don't usually do anything different at Christmas. But I'll ask the question, are you doing anything at Christmas?
I'm off and I'm having, I've got New Year, getting ahead of myself. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day off, so that's nice.
Good.
And so we're spending that with some family, so that's good.
Great, because hotels have to stay open and it's a big time, so you kind of get some, you win some, you lose some,
What
don't
about
you?
you?
It's just one day for me, it's Christmas Day, there's no boats on Christmas Day, and also on New Year's Day, I'm working each side of that. To be honest, I'm not bothered, it's not a big
And
deal
there'll
for me,
probably be
Christmas.
about some other days as well, but anyway, again, we won't go into that.
Well, but we'll come back to it. So that's what was. My Christmas actually kind of kicked off in a way yesterday because I had a video call thing. Started doing them when COVID was about. People were calling each other. And one of the nice things that happened is I do video calls with my three sisters, Lindis, Morag and Nicola. And I did one last night, which we arranged a certain time, and it was 8 in the evening, and we didn't finish till 11 in the evening. So I had a 3-hour phone call with all my three sisters, catching up and finding out how they're doing. And for me, that was a kind of like a good thing of Christmas, if you know what I mean. You know, talking to family for such a long time.
That's good. That's a
So
good thing about it, getting in
that was
touch
good.
with family,
My Christmas sweater has been on since the 7th of February because we were talking about how Christmas starts. We think December is reasonable for putting trees up and things, but November isn't.
Yeah, I only got mine up about 2 days ago.
Okay. Well, mine's been on a lot, but I quite like it, you know. But it's just silly. But I didn't have it on for a couple of days, and that is because of the weather we had, which was so frozen. My washing machine actually froze up, and my sweater was in it. So I couldn't even do it. Your washing machine's actually in the shed. So there's the thing. So that froze solid, which it has done before actually. But anyway, there we go. And it just unfreezes again, and then you do the washing.
Right.
So I had a couple of days without my sweater because of that.
Dear.
I don't know if the camels would have been used to such conditions. But anyway.
Not in Qatar, anyway.
Right, I've got something to show you.
Alright.
One second. I'll just get it. I had my birthday on the 17th and I didn't tell anybody. I always keep things like that private, you know, I'm not bothered.
You did mention it, because I knew that.
But I don't say it at work and things.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't tell anybody. Like, I just have, it's a normal day. I'm not bored. Right, I've had a lot of them. But somebody left this on my door. I'll hold it up.
I did see that, yes, and that is very good.
It's a painting of Sally the Teenage Westie in the White House Woods in Lamlash, where we went so many times, and that is at the springtime when there's wild garlic abounding all over the floor.
And it smells great.
Well, it smells great, and it just looks like it's been snowing. There's so much wild garlic in there. And this is a friend of a friend. So this is Connie Ferguson, who's done an oil painting. This is an original, just because she's inspired by the adventures of the wee dog, which sadly is no longer around. She passed away a couple of months ago. I'll just hold that up actually. What a lovely thing to find on my doorstep, and by coincidence, on my birthday. So I came back from my shift on my birthday at 7:30 in the evening. She'd left a message saying I've left a wee something, because she's a Facebook friend, on your door. And I had this wonderful painting of Sally Teenage Westie in the White House Woods, and it's just the most wonderful place to go because it's just a sea of white garlic. It really is amazing. Actually, it's lovely. And so happy memories. I've got this painting forever. I'm very appreciative of that. That's like my second most valuable thing I own after my running round Arran trophy, which has to be the top. But this is very much appreciated. I love this picture actually. I really do.
Good.
It's very nice, isn't
I saw
it?
it and I thought, yeah,
It's quite beautiful
really
actually.
Nicely done.
Yeah. So I'm really chuffed. I was quite emotional with that, to be honest. But when I got it, you know, but that was nice. Really, really great. Oops, just put a hole in my ceiling there. So that was that. I'm going to Brodick Hall this evening to go and see Arran Brass Band and also the carol singers doing Arran singers doing the Christmas carols, and you don't know I'm doing that, but I'm going to go and film it.
I thought you said you were going to sing there.
No, I'm just going to film
you
it.
Said, right, okay.
Just going to film it. Do you want to come?
Well, I've
Starts at 7. Probably go an hour and a half
Thing
or
is,
something.
I've come into again. I might have to miss that.
No, you think about it.
Aye, I'll think about it.
Think about it. But anyway, I'm going to go and I will film it. So if you don't come,
Right.
in any case, I'm going to get the camera out and film all the songs
Right.
and put them on because I think it'll be lovely. You know, the Arran Brass. I just love all the.
I've actually got some DIY tonight. I've got some DIY to do before my family come over.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, fair enough. I'll be getting that. You've got to get some preparation
So
done.
that's the main reason, as in painting.
No, that's fair enough. Before I get off the subject of weather, by the way, I was hearing that the Sannox Golf Club tea room is awash,
Oh.
completely awash. Ceilings, everything, just a total flood, burst pipes.
All right.
So that's
Didn't
a shame.
know that.
Yeah.
And I live there.
Only heard
Well,
that
not in the tea room.
Only heard
but,
that
you know,
yesterday.
That's bad.
I've
Right,
actually
okay.
seen a picture, so so that's a shame. So that's what happens when you get burst pipes. I've seen the devastation. What a shame for them.
Because nobody's been in there.
Nobody's been in there because it's empty now. It's
Yeah.
been empty for a couple of months, so it's like devastated, to be
I
honest.
didn't know that.
There you go. That's something you didn't know.
Yeah.
Something that made me realise, if you didn't know, that we're on an island. You know, we can only buy things in the co-op.
Yes.
As far as supermarket goes, we only got one supermarket and some small shops. And they stopped selling something called Heinz Sammy's Spread recently.
All right.
And I've bought that all my life since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. And it's always been my favourite Sammy's. Cheese, salad, Sammy Spread, right? And then a bag of crisps.
Heinz.
So, Heinz Sammy Spread,
Yeah.
right? It's just lovely tiny stuff. And they've made
Yeah.
it for all the 50 years that I can remember. And I've always had it. And they'd stopped selling it. And it just means that you've got this big change because you can't go anywhere else. So you haven't got our supermarket to go to, I'm really meaning, right? And, you know, most people go to the supermarket for shopping, for the main shop. So I just simply haven't had Sammy Spread in my
Have
Sammy's.
you tried another grocer shop on the island?
No, I haven't, to be honest. But you know, I work these 12-hour shifts, and
yeah, I know.
my shopping gets done at 8 in the evening, so that's when I finish.
Who else? No, not Perm Mill. Who else has got grocery? White Bay?
I haven't
Stores?
been anywhere. I've just been
No,
working the whole time, and
no.
I've done overtime as well.
I'll try and White Bay when you get a minute in stores. Maybe they've got something like that.
But the thing is, I might be able to find it somewhere, but the place I go to doesn't have it though, and at that time of night, there's nowhere else open. And
It's a principle, though.
that's
isn't
the
it?
thing. It's like if you can't get something
You
from
can't get
somebody,
something
quite often you can't get it at all.
on an
You know, and
island,
that's
yeah.
part of being on an island, isn't it? You
Yeah.
don't really have. You're more dependent on something like when we run out of petrol. You just don't have petrol. You're not going to be able to go to another town or another city.
Or I did go in the co-op the other day, and there was no fruit and veg.
Right.
So
And
no,
they've had
we're talking
obviously
no.
they've had problems because of boats
Yes.
and stuff being off as well.
And it's
not-
Christmas and
we're not
everybody's
knocking them.
obviously panic buying
Yeah.
what they do have.
And we know how hard they work in a co-op. We've both done it for many
Yes.
years. The people in there work extremely hard, so we're not knocking them. But by the same token, when there's a problem for whatever reason, it's quite a big problem, isn't it? Can be because you're on an island.
I remember when I used to do the produce,
Hmm.
and like Christmas thing, like how many bags of sprouts are going to need?
Yes, have to guess it.
So I'd order like nothing to go by,
No.
like last year. So
Just
it'd
your
be a case of right, okay, a dozen big bags, as in the big nettings.
Yeah.
They'd come in and they'd be gone in like one day.
Yeah. And then
And
you're
you're
daft.
like, I'm duffed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you get 2 or 3 days to get the next one. That's right, and you're in trouble as well.
Yes.
What's this gap,
No
Gordon?
sprouts.
Well,
Yeah.
no sprouts. You're a couple of sprouts short of a full bag, as they say.
Yeah.
Okay, oh yes, talking about the ferries. So these different people are on strike if you're travelling anywhere in different parts of the country. Ambulances, trains, driving instructors, highway workers. For planes, it's baggage handlers and border force, buses, Royal Mail, and highway traffic officers. They're all on strike. Guess who isn't? Ferries. So there's the thing, right? Now, actually, as it happens, I don't know if the ferry's running just now. It was off this morning.
It was
but-
off till the
but
12.
We're going to review at 1 o'clock.
30.
I don't. So that's
I
about
think-
now. It's about now.
Surely.
It might come back on now. But the
Sure.
point is, we're not striking. So everyone else says. So here we go. That's it. That's the next post for Arran Community Forum. Thank you, ferry workers, for not striking like everybody else. Even though sometimes you don't run, at least you're running some of the time, and you're not going on strike.
Yes.
And we're not. We're just it's just other parts of travel and transport, we're not striking. There you go.
Yeah.
So whatever problems you've had, we've not made them worse.
Okay.
Okay, that's one thing I'm going to say there. Funny wee stories from the last couple of days at work. I've just remembered a couple of wee things, so I've wrote them down. Right. We get a lot of sweeties and biscuits handed in, and we've got like 3 or 4 people working at the desk at any time. So you know that's not a big number of people, just a few.
All right.
But it's amazing how much they can munch through.
Yes.
So then for yesterday, somebody put a kilogram box of shortbread in front of us, amongst other things, you know, the sweeties and stuff. And that kilogram box lasted 1 day. So that is a kilogram, remember, right? And I actually looked at the box. That's 5,000 calories and 250 grams of fat, and we get rid of that in 1 day. That's quite impressive, isn't it?
So if you're talking 3 or 4, 5, that's well, it's only 1,000 calories each.
Yeah, we're meant to have what, 2,000
Well, depending
a day or
if
something.
that's if everybody eats the same amount,
Yes.
which probably isn't the case.
Plus sweeties.
Plus
It's
sweeties.
quite impressive munching abilities we've got.
Yeah.
That was a big box, a kilogram.
Right.
There's somebody I work with called Donna, and she was telling me a story. She was introducing to someone else, and she's got this friend called Donity. And
Right.
she says, how come you've got a friend called Donity? She says, well, I was getting introduced to somebody. I'm Donna. She says, I'm Donity. And ever since then she's been Donity.
Should have guessed that.
Donity.
Donity.
So that's her name now.
T-A-E.
Yeah, Donity. That's right, Donity. Adam Brown, Bruni, was in the car park, and when we're loading the cars and lorries onto a boat, they drive towards you and then they turn towards the boat at the last second, right? You know, because they drive down the lanes and then
Right.
they steer towards you.
Yeah.
You go, come on,
Yeah.
They drive towards you, and then they turn onto the ramp of the boat.
Right.
So he's standing just where the lorry turns, and he's on the outside of the lorry.
The lorry didn't turn.
And it did turn. It was a big lorry, but it was raining that
Oh,
day,
right,
right?
right,
And
right.
he's got his waterproofs on, so he's
Yeah.
managed to kind of stay dry, but not quite. You know, he's struggling. But as the lorry turned towards the boat, little did he know, all of the roof of the lorry was like a swimming pool of water, right? So it's like a sunken swimming pool.
Right.
So the lorry turns, and
Right.
all of the water goes sideways off the top of the lorry and completely drenches Bruni standing in the car park trying to survive the rain. You know, it was like a swimming pool of water landing in his head, apparently.
So the sketch from Morecambe and Wise comes to mind,
Aye.
Singing in the Rain. Do you remember that one? Eric was a policeman and everywhere he stood, water ended up getting... No? Not remember that one.
Do you know, I've seen them all, so I must have seen that as well.
Eric was doing all the dancing, singing in the rain, and he was a cop. Ernie, and Eric was a copper standing there, and everywhere he went, he got folk were throwing water in.
Yeah,
So yeah, that kind of bring that to mind.
yeah,
And it's quite exciting. That was probably a Christmas special.
yeah. They were brilliant, weren't they?
Yeah, don't get them that any day these days, do you?
No, you don't get comments like that.
No.
And the last funny story was from Super Mario, who's the boss, that's Colin.
Right.
And he was telling me what happens when someone jumps the queue. So it was someone else, it was an airport, and someone was jumping the queue, and the man came up to the desk, and there's a woman behind the desk, and he says, you just served me just now, and she says, you've jumped the queue, you need to go back to the back of the queue. And he turned around to her and he said, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
Right.
So she went, hold on just a second. So she went to the tannoy, and she went,
Does anyone know who this guy is?
that's right, he says, there's a man here who doesn't know who he is.
Oh,
Could
right.
anybody help?
Right.
Do you
Oh
know
my
who he
goodness.
is? We need to find out who he is. He doesn't know. Can you help? And then,
Right.
I'll not, well, he said F, like the F word, he said F you, right? So,
Right.
right. And she said, she says, there's a queue for that too. So back to the back of the queue.
So I'd have to ask, I don't know who this guy was.
No,
All right.
she
that's
didn't know who he was, and she never did find out,
Oh,
but
right,
and obviously
okay.
he didn't know either. So it's,
So
but
you
that's,
didn't tell him
no.
in the end, no?
No, no.
Okay. So
She just
nobody
sent him to
knows.
the back of the queue.
So nobody knows who this
And
was.
he didn't know either. But now I'm going to remember that. So next time someone says, "Do you know who I am?"
And
No, I'll just find out. I'll just find out if I can find out for you, sir. That's a good one. I quite like that.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's a good. I'm gonna remember that one actually. I'm gonna use that one
That's
day.
good customer service.
Quality.
Quality
Tell me
customer
that-
service.
No, I don't actually, but I'll try to find out for you. Okay, that's all my stories. So we better get as usual. We better get on with it. You know, take my Christmas jumper off, brace the cold.
Wait, might need it on.
Maybe. Well, I've got a t-shirt. I've got
Right.
2 thin layers and a jacket. That's what I've got.
I've got 1 layer in a jacket because I think, and I've got 1 waterproof and carrying just in case it
No,
gets
okay.
really
So
wet.
you've got a
but
3rd layer.
I think it's going to be quite warm.
I think it might be right. It feels alright. So I think we'll be alright. We'll probably just run out of energy more than
Famous last words. Well, don't I say that? Famous next words.
Next
Yeah,
words.
don't say last. Tempt fate.
Okay, we'll go for it. Tempt. Right, we're off. We're off.
Right, here we are. We're at the foot of the saddle, which is in front of us, and it's a clear day. The clouds are just skimming the very tops of the highest mountains. Which one's Goat Fell, Gordon?
Well, it's behind that.
Behind that, so it's right behind it. Oh yeah, I can see another peak right behind it. So if you were on Goat Fell, you might get a view and you might not. It's kind of like just skimming the top of them. The odd patch of blue sky. We've stopped here because there's a river in front of us, and we're about to cross it, and this marks the point where the uphill starts. And so far our run's been great, hasn't it, Gordon?
Wind behind, like I said, eventually.
Wind behind us, and actually we're nice and warm. In fact, I'll show you. Gordon is the glamorous assistant for today. He's got a red face.
Yes.
He doesn't really need his bonnet, and neither do I. In fact, I'll show you. I don't even know if I've got a red face. Probably.
Yeah,
Not too bad. He drinks more than me, that's the thing. So it's easier. It comes easier for him. Then it doesn't. Neither of us drink anything really. I'm pointing the camera back down Glenrosa where we've come from. There's an odd wee bit of blue sky, but not much. But it is dry. It's been dry the whole time. It's mild. We're getting 6 or 7 degrees. Perfect for running. The wind's been behind us. I'm facing the wind just now, so you're probably hearing the wind in the camera. I'll face the other way now. I'm running a big circle. Mountains all the way round, from left to right. The biggest mountains on Arran.
So that's Kirvor.
Kirvor in front of us.
So if we want to go up there, we take the left. We're going up the saddle, so we go up.
Okay, Kirvor's on the left,
So we split.
and the saddle is on the right, right between all the mountains. So we're feeling good, and we're both very glad we've come out. And just to explain the difference, when we got out of the car, as usual, we're like feeling struggling, aren't we? We even struggle to run because we're that old, we get stiff knees and stuff. And now it's all fluid and we're warm, and to be honest, we're feeling fine, aren't we? We're enjoying it. We're enjoying
That's
it.
my favourite bit, the steep bit.
The steep bit. Okay. So well, we've got the wind behind us, so that's the main thing.
Yes, that's good.
So I think we'll be all right. Anyway, we'll go and get on with it, and we'll speak to you further at the top, probably. Yes. Okay. Okay. So this is me and Gordon running. We're about halfway up towards the saddle now. The path's great, dry underfoot. Wind's behind us, just like Gordon said. We just had a very strong gust, didn't we, Gordon? About a minute of really strong wind. It's not so strong just now, but it is pretty windy. It's not a tornado, and that's the main thing. Although, in all honesty, I'd be quite happy if it was. You know, I just love nature at its best or worst, assuming we would survive it. And in front of Gordon on the left, some magnificent mountains with the clouds just skimming the top. You carry on, Gordon. We'll stop for a second. I'm just going to swivel around and I'll catch up. Just turn the camera. Right back down the valley. Probably can't hear me. That's Glenrosa. Fantastic. That's where we're going up there. Better catch up with Gordon. I'm loving this. Just to explain, I've got no aches and pains. I'm the same as everybody else. I've got things wrong with my body, things that don't work well. In my case, a hole in my spine, arthritis, asthma, all that kind of stuff, all gone away. So you keep moving, and same with garden, all that stuff is gone. We're moving along nicely, loving doing the running. And as Gordon and I just said to each other a second ago, we just don't know what we'd do without this. This is the best present we can have, being somewhere like this, in this wind as well. There's some wind, I'll turn around and let you experience it. That's the wind. Oh, fantastic. Just loving it. Now I'm a bit faster uphill than Gordon, so I'm a wee bit lighter. And he's faster downhill for the same reason. So it's okay that I'll go behind him on the way up, because I can catch him up again. And but on the way down, I don't want him to get ahead of me too much, because it just disappears. You know what I mean? So that's why he's in front just now, and I'm behind. And we've been doing this all our lives, which means we've been running about since we can walk, but we haven't stopped. And that's been over 110 years. Over 110 years. Rapidly heading towards 120 years of charging about. And we're still here doing this. So grateful. Okay. There we go. Right, there's Gordon just approaching the top of the saddle. I haven't poked my head over the top yet. You just see we can just see the glimmers of the tops of mountains in front of us. Massive boulders all the way around. Just go over this last little bit. It's very windy. There's Gordon. Of course, that's a picture. Just look at that. Oh. Okay, we're at the top of the saddle. And getting the view. We'll come to it. Just hopefully it's sheltered. And you can hear me. Oh yeah, we're going behind this massive boulder now. Good choice, Gordon. And can I go to the edge of that? Yeah, I'll follow you. Right, we'll do that. I'm going down a wee slope here, behind a massive boulder. Notice the change in the wind noise. Gordon made it. And that, you're going to get your camera out quickly. I'm going to the edge of the valley now. I'm looking down on Sannox Valley, isn't it, Gordon? Glen Sannox, yeah. Okay. That's what I'm looking down on. All the way down to the sea and across to the mainland. An incredible view. Mountains coming up each side. The sun over on the mainland. Very sunny. Windy where I am, but that's because I'm not quite behind the boulder right now. I've poked out just to get this view of Glen Sannox. The mountains are right the way around us because we're in this saddle. To the left, you can see, well, I can see the clouds just skimming the tops of the mountains. Can't see the tops, just skimming over them. And there's Gordon taking a photo of me and him. I'm taking a film of him taking a photo. What a bit of fun, because we made it and we've enjoyed our run and we're feeling fine. We know it's downhill on the way back, so that's okay. I'm going to poke my head round the corner here. Whoa, wind! Yeah, careful. And then there's a path going off. Goes right up top of the other mountains on the right, up to Goat Fell and beyond. There's a good path there, you can see it. I'll go back to where Gordon is because you won't be able to hear me. There's a windy place there. Bit of snow.
Bit of snow, see that? 2 bits of snow.
Oh yeah, some snow at the top of the mountains there, not much but a bit. Fantastic. It's just lovely to be up here, and we haven't seen anybody else up here at all. It's just been me and Gordon. I'll poke my head round the other side as well. We've got something to say while I've got the camera behind this rock and we can hear ourselves. And we're talking about it. Kirsty Smith, or Mountain Maisie as I would call her, is having a baby today. And it is today, I believe. I've seen definitely, apparently, yeah. So whatever happens with that, I don't know the ins and outs, so to speak.
I hope more of the outs.
Outs, more outs, and outs, no doubt, is the expression for today. So good luck with that, Kirsty. Kirsty worked with me at Calmac, and also she worked at Arran with me and Gordon, and she was on reception, I think. But she certainly worked at Calmac for a number of years. And today she's now actually a post woman. Is that right? A post person? And so she's now doing her final delivery of the year. The biggest and most important delivery. And this is one that she's definitely going to see through to its destination no matter what, regardless of striking or anything else. Isn't it great to be here, Gordon?
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Sheltered.
How lucky are we?
Look at that view. That's just that's when you see what glaciers do, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Smooth on each side, like a bowl, all carved out by glaciers. And I don't know much about that, but I think you're right. That's got that kind of look about it, isn't it? Yeah, that's what it looks like. And the mainland looks amazing over there with the sun. In fact, is that the mainland? That big company or Butte?
Yeah, that is the mainland. Yeah, that really.
Yeah. You can see houses over there and everything, individual houses. Oh, right, okay. I've got great eyesight. That's the funny thing. I've got weirdly good eyesight, which I'm holding on to because all my family needs glasses, apart from me.
No, that's where I live.
Yeah.
Right down the bottom there.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're just down. That's where your house is, just down there. So
Can't you see it? But
we did walk certain little bits of the steepest bits coming up here, but we ran almost all of it, apart from the very steepest kind of steps and stuff. And that is on account of our age. So, but it's not laziness. And weight, and well, not in my case, I'm pretty featherweight. But so I'm just going to pull the camera around back down to Glenrosa. You probably won't be able to hear me, but I'm going to have a look down there as well, just where we've come from. It'll be windy. I'll be facing the wind here. Let's just have a look. Very windy, but it's worth it just to have a look. What a view! And the clouds are, like I say, just over the top of the hills in front of us. It's almost like sun's just going up the valley and nowhere else. The mountains are black, the valley's dark, light brown all the way. That'll be dead bracken. Oh, pretty windy. Back round to where it was. See if Gordon's still here. Nice, still there. Yeah, so brown all the way down the valley, and that's the dead bracken, isn't it? Dead grass, heather. Grass. Yeah, been lovely to run on though. Paths have been dry, because the grass and everything's dried down. We can see where we're putting our feet, so that's been good. Yeah, it's cold, isn't it, Gordon? It's getting cold now because we're standing about. Magnificent though. It's been over 10 years since I've been here. I've loved running up here. I'm going to come back up again, and I'm going to go up some of these mountains as well, but I'm going to wait till it's the springtime and then we'll come back up and we're going to go over on these mountains, aren't we? Because this was easy. We can do this easy. It wasn't too bad. It was so. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like a wheelbarrow. Oh, there's another path going up there. I can see a stepped path. Oh, crow, yeah, up at the top here. We saw a buzzard a minute ago as well, didn't we, for quite a while? I'm going to have a look at that wheelbarrow there. A little purple.
on that path,
purple wheelbarrow.
Swampy and his crew.
Working on the path.
Been working on that, yeah.
That looks good, that path going up into the mountains there.
I think it's the one
Like
up
stone steps.
the road to
Kirvor, is that what it is? Yeah.
Keelmore.
Amazing. Oh, it's just magnificent. Well, we're going to go up that path sometime. Right, that's what I was saying about Glenrosa. See, it's kind of, it looks like it's sunny in the valley, but we've got the light above the hills in front of us, but the mountains are getting all the clouds just skimming them. Is that goat fell up to the left there? Can't see it just now. Wouldn't get any view from the top of that now. Okay, I suppose we better head back down. Gordon's getting a bit cold. We'll get on with it. Cheers.
What's that? That one of our bikes.
What bikes?
I think that is.
Oh, right, a cranny bike. Right, here we are. We're back at the car at Glenrosa. Gordon's going to go and have a look at a bike and see if it's the bicycle there, see if it's an cranny hire one, because he has to do with that. Maybe somebody's dumped it. He's going to go and check. And I'm just having a look up and down Glenrosa because we've finished our run. And we're at the campsite. Is that alright? We're at the campsite. There's nobody camping because it's December. The streams hardly get any water in it because there's not been much rain lately. The burn. And you can hear the wind just coming down Glenrosa Valley towards us. We'll get in the car. We'll get in the car.
Some nice person's left there.
Yeah, a bit of rubbish out there. Bit of rubbish. Alright, we're getting in the car. So we've just finished. Here. Oh. Right, I'll shut the doors. Okay, so we went from being really strong running up, and then we ran fast back down, didn't we?
Yes.
You were going in front of me.
Well,
I was at full speed keeping up with you. And my foot's a bit dodgy. It was a bit it was difficult underfoot. I mean, it was a good path, but at speed, you got to concentrate. You said it's maximum concentration running down that path.
it is.
And my ankle kind of twisted a couple of times. You actually fell over at one point, but you had a good fall
In the heather.
in the heather.
It's good, yeah.
So,
Yes.
and the wind was in our face coming down the
down.
hill
And then behind us, coming along the
along
bottom of
the
the glen.
bottom of the glen.
So that wasn't too bad.
And we passed the Hendry brothers. In fact, that's them going past in the car just now. The Hendry brothers.
Yeah.
Alistair and Charles Hendry. And they live in Glenrosa in their house, and they've been here forever. And they actually helped to maintain the path going up Glenrosa, don't they?
They might have done a bit.
Mhm. I think they're to do with like the fundraising for the bridge and all that kind of stuff. Or
Yeah.
didn't they? I'm sure they've to do with that path, keeping it good. I've spoken to them about it before. Anyway, they spend all their time in Glenrosa, don't they? That's the place you see them all the time.
Sometimes see them in Sannox, they come up.
Right, so yeah, as the car's steaming up, and when we were coming back down, we saw one other person, didn't we? One guy going up on his own.
Quite surprising. I thought I'd see maybe the odd other person, but he was the first person we saw. A bit late in the
Our
day
car,
for going up the saddle.
little van. So
Steaming up.
yeah, steaming up. Get one or two people going up to Glenrosa, but he was past Glenrosa and he was going up towards the saddle on his own. What time were we at?
2:45.
2:45. And he'll still have a good half hour, 3/4 an hour before he even gets to the saddle, won't he?
I'd say an hour.
An hour. So he'll be getting to the saddle just as it gets dark.
Yeah.
And then he'll have to come all the way back down, whichever way he comes
Maybe
down.
he'll decide against it.
I hope he doesn't try to come down the other direction, because that's steep. Anyway, so fingers crossed for him that he turns round or something like that. I don't think that was a good plan.
No.
Or he's got a massive head torch or something like that.
He's got a bike there, doesn't have any lights on it.
No, he didn't look the best prepared, did he? But anyway, so we've run about 9 miles, have you reckoned, didn't it?
Yep.
And we're still okay, and we managed it. So the fact is, we've run 9 miles up and down undulating surface and hills and stuff, and we can still do that. So that's an achievement.
I feel it in the legs.
I'm feeling it as well. I think we're both pretty duffed by the time we finish it, won't we?
Yeah.
Maybe a bit sore-legged, but not sore-kneed, and that's good.
Yeah.
So
Not so headed.
no, and at least we've gone out and done something, so that's good.
Yeah.
So that'll get us
Good day
stronger.
for it. Not a spot of rain.
No rain. It was a good day for it. It was a good plan. So back and get a shower and stuff, and then for me, lunch, and then I'll make sure I'm out for
Yeah.
the carol singing
And for
tonight.
me, DIY.
DIY. Yes. Well, I don't do much of that
forward
these
to it.
days. I'm pretty lazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, that's us. Dave the Rave, Gordon the Gopher.
Bye
Go
for
for
now.
now. Bye for now.